Welcome to another enriching episode of English with Tuna, where we don't just teach English, we explore the philosophy of learning, the emotional journey behind language acquisition, and the reality of building fluency not through stress or pressure, but through smart, practical, and consistent habits rooted in understanding and application.
And I'm Luis, grateful, as always, to join this journey with all of you. Today, we're diving into a topic that may just transform the way you think about vocabulary, fluency, and communication itself. The truth is, many learners feel trapped, constantly chasing more words, thinking that fluency is a finish line they haven't crossed simply because they haven't learned enough vocabulary.
Let's start by clearing this up. Fluency does not come from memorizing lists of rare or sophisticated words, it comes from mastering the simple, essential vocabulary you already know, and learning to use it effectively in real-life situations. Fluency is depth, not width, and we'll show you why.
Let me begin with a personal story, one I think many listeners can relate to. Years ago, I studied English intensely. I had notebooks full of new vocabulary, flashcards stacked high, apps reminding me to study daily. But when I tried to speak with native speakers, I froze. I couldn't recall the right words. I hesitated. I sounded robotic or confused. I was frustrated.
And that's such a common experience. Because language isn't just about knowing words, it's about building trust in your ability to use what you already have. You don't need to be impressive. You need to be expressive. And the good news? You can do that with fewer words than you think.
You see, spoken English, especially in daily life, runs on the fuel of common, high-frequency words. These words, like make, get, take, go, do, have, want, need, know, and like, carry thousands of meanings depending on how they're used. They're flexible. They're powerful. They're all around you.
Exactly. Think about the word, get. It might seem simple, but it's incredibly dynamic. Get up. Get out. Get over it. Get ahead. Get tired. Get better. Get lost. Get it. With just this one word and a few particles or objects, you can express hundreds of ideas. That's not a lack of vocabulary. That's fluency in action.
Now imagine this. You spend 1 month learning 500 new words that you might never use. Or you spend 1 month practicing 50 core words in different ways, writing dialogues, listening to native speakers, repeating aloud, using them in real conversations. Which method builds fluency? Which gives you confidence?
It's not even close. The second approach gives you usable language, not just data in your brain. And when you start noticing how often the same basic words appear in books, shows, podcasts, conversations, you realize that even native speakers use simple words most of the time. The difference is how.
Yes. And let's take another example. The word, take. Take your time. Take a break. Take responsibility. Take it easy. Take part. Take over. Take care. Each phrase is common, useful, and easy to remember, but only if you stop trying to learn new words every day and start learning how to use what you already know.
That's such an important shift. Stop chasing vocabulary. Start building relationships with words. It's like learning to cook, not by collecting spices you've never tasted, but by learning to make delicious meals with the ingredients you already have in your kitchen.
And this also helps reduce the anxiety many learners feel. When you stop seeing fluency as something far away, And start seeing it as something you can build today with simple tools. The pressure decreases. You stop feeling like you're not ready to speak.
Let's take a moment to talk about confidence. Because that's what vocabulary is supposed to give you, right? The ability to express yourself. But confidence doesn't come from knowing more, it comes from trusting that you can make your point clearly. With what you already have.
And you know what else? Native speakers often prefer simple language. Think about great speakers, great writers, great leaders. They don't use complicated words. They use clear, powerful, relatable language. That's what makes people listen. That's what makes you sound natural.
And let me say this directly. You don't need to sound academic. You don't need to sound like a textbook. You don't even need to speak perfect English. What you need is to be understood, to express your ideas, to connect with others, and that's something you can do with a small vocabulary.
It's time to let go of this idea that you're not ready to speak. You are. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection. You need practice. You need patience. And you need to use the words you already know to say what you mean, clearly, honestly, confidently.
So, let's give our listeners something practical. First, identify the 100 most common words you use in your native language every day. Then, find their English equivalents. Start writing short sentences with them. Practice them aloud. Use them with a friend. The goal isn't to be fancy. It's to be functional.
Second, pick 10 common verbs and explore 5 to 10 expressions with each one. Use go in go out, go on, go back, go ahead. Use make in make time, make money, make a mistake. Practice them in real sentences. You'll quickly find that just a few words unlock a huge range of expression.
Third, listen intentionally. Watch shows and movies not just for entertainment, but for language. Notice how often the same words are used. Pay attention to tone, stress, pauses. This is where real fluency lives, not in vocabulary lists, but in rhythm, in emotion, in usage.
Fourth, give yourself permission to repeat. Repeat words. Repeat ideas. Repeat sentences. Repetition is how you build fluency. It's not boring. It's smart. It's how children learn. It's how athletes train. And it's how you'll grow as a speaker.
And finally, embrace mistakes. Mistakes don't mean failure. They mean you're using the language. That you're testing it, playing with it, owning it, and that's exactly what leads to progress.
So today, as we wrap up this conversation, remember this. You don't need a big vocabulary to speak English well. You need a meaningful vocabulary, a practiced vocabulary, a confident vocabulary.
You don't need complexity. You need clarity. You don't need to sound impressive. You need to sound human. And you can start doing that today.
Thank you for joining us. We hope this episode helps you rethink what it means to be fluent and encourages you to use what you know. Boldly, simply, and with heart.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep believing, and keep speaking. This is English with Tuna. And we'll see you in the next episode.